Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, and it is time for August's TBR. So for August, I'm actually going to do things a little bit differently. In August, I am moving. I'm filming this at the beginning of July because I actually need to start packing up my books. So I wanted to film my August TBR quite early so I know exactly what I'm going to be reading. I can leave those books out and start packing. I also have decided to do it differently in that I'm not going to be playing my TBR game for the month of August, but I am going to be playing someone else's. Now, I'm doing the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, and one of the prompts in that game is basically to play someone else's TBR and then read all the books that you choose for that TBR. It doesn't have to be like in the month you do it. If you don't want to do it in a month, it could be then like throughout the rest of the year, which is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to aim to read as much as I can in August, but if I don't read any of them in August, as long as I read them before Hercules finishes, then it still would count for the prompt. So I thought this would be the perfect month to do that. This way I can leave my game to the side for a section because I can pack it all up, not worry about it, but I have the opportunity then to like play someone else's game, and then I have those books set for 11 months that I have to read. The TBR game I'm going to be playing is going to be The Lord of the Reeds. This is created by Sylvia from Library Unbounded. I will link multiple things from her in the description below because this TBR game is one of my favorites. It's so creative, so much effort's put into it, and so well done. And Sylvia has also made a digital version of it, which is what I'm going to be playing now. I've got my computer in front of me, which makes it so much easier to play, but it's also just like, it's just really cool that I can sit and play it on my computer. Really fantastic. I really recommend it, and I really recommend her channel in general. I think the way she talks about books is really eloquent. I always feel like a bit of a bumbling buffoon when trying to like talk about books and describe my thoughts about books, and so I always really admire people that can like very eloquently come across with their like thoughts and opinions when talking about books. So Sylvia's game actually has two different versions. The first one is the Fellowship of the Reeds, and the second one, which is the one I'm going to be playing, is the Tale of Two Libraries. And the idea is you don't pick about how many times you roll as many times as you need to get from one end to the other. There are some stipulations in different tiles you can pick. One, the blank ones being prompts, which will come up, but there are two. There is a TBR jar and a Dead Marshes space. If I land on the Dead Marshes space, I'm going to be picking from my series jar, and if I land on the TBR jar, I will be picking from my own TBR jar. I think that's about it. So let me start screen recording and we'll start picking. First of all, we have to pick a companion. So let's see who I'm going to be playing with. We're going to be playing with Mary. Now, all the companions do have a like ability associated with them, so I'm going to quickly have a look at what Mary's is. Mary's is allows you to reuse a leftover book from last month, if any. Doesn't really overly help me because I'm still like at the beginning of July, so I'm probably not end up going to using Mary's extra skill, but that is fine. So let's jump in and start. Okay, so this is what the board looks like. So cool. So yeah, we're basically going to start here. We have to end up all the way up here, and we're rolling I think it's a 12-sided die. So let's give it a roll for our first roll for the month. I'm actually really excited about this. This is actually really fun. 3. Okay, so that is a series. Oh, there's even a series jar. So maybe I need to do something different for the Dead Marshes space. Okay, but anyway, so that means I need to go 1, 2, 3. Series, so you must continue a series. So I think to differentiate between the Dead Marshes space and the series space, if I land on the series space, I'm going to allow myself to pick a series, but if I land on the Dead Marshes space, I have to randomly pick a series. So the series I'm going to continue in August is going to be Skanda. This is the 4th book, which is Skanda and the Skeleton Curse, because the 5th and final book comes out in September, and I really want to grab it and like read it straight away. So I really need to catch up. I read the 3rd one last month, as I'm currently in June, and had a really good time with it. This is a middle grade series about a magical riding academy, elemental magic. Really good. The stakes have definitely gotten a bit higher in the last book, so I'm really interested in how the kind of story is going to progress from there. It's a really interesting concept. I really like the kind of diversity there is in this book and the representation it has. I think A.F. Stedman does a really nice job in that and how it makes it quite inclusive to a lot of readers. I really like seeing that in middle grade books. So that is going to be the first book for the August TBR. So this will not be getting packed away for the month, and that is Skanda, and I'm so excited for this. Let's jump in to roll 2. Dun, dun, dun. Roll number 2 is a 1. That's not very far. So that is going to be my first prompt though. Especially you can see in the corner, a load of prompt cards have come up. So let's let them go through what they've said. So the children of Purin read a retelling. I actually don't have any idea what this is, but I'll have a look and I will jump back. So I don't know if this is a retelling in like a traditional sense or if it's more of just like inspired by a retelling or something like that, but I'm going to go for Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. It has some inspiration or something taken from Arthurian legend. I don't know why I keep taking my glasses off, I'm going to need them. So it's about our main character who is something called a Hollower. So there are rumors of a powerful ring from Arthurian legend, a ring that could free her brother from a curse, but they aren't the only ones who want it. I got this long ago. I got this in 2023 from a fairy book, and I'm planning on doing doing some kind of challenge this year where I try and read the like first 12 books that I got in my book boxes to really just try and keep on top of them. I know Fairy did do a sequel edition. I don't know if it's still available, but obviously if it is and I like it, I would like to be able to get it so they match. I think it's only a duology as well. I had started reading this and I don't know if it is supposed to be the characters are English or they are American and it's just set in England, but like in the first page, something threw me off in that the main character, her cell phone was ringing, which just automatically took me out of the story because if they are supposed to be English, you would not use the term cell phone. It's such a small thing, but it like automatically took me out of the story of believability. But I don't 100% know if they are supposed to be English characters or if they are Americans, because that would then work correctly. But it's like the first setting is in Lancashire, so it's like if they are English, yeah. Does it actually say? I don't know, but yeah. So like again, that was such a tiny thing, but you know, it's just like one of those things that automatically kind of takes you out of the world, and it was on the first page. So I actually need to give it more of a chance than literally the first page. But I just wasn't in the mood when I was reading the book. But this is a really nice edition. I actually really like the art on the hardback. I really like this art style. I do really like the book, so would love to get the sequel if I do enjoy it. So that is going to be the book on for a retelling. I'm not 100% sure if it fits, but I think it fits enough. It's taken stuff from a different myth or legend. So yeah, again, look at me bubbling buffoon when I'm talking about books. Let's go on to roll 3. Let's go for a bigger roll, please, than 1. 4. Okay, it's bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the one before the Dead Marshes. So it's another prompt card. Dun dun dun, where you've got Gandalf's Fireworks. Read a book with foiling on the cover. This also works fantastic for wanting to read special editions. So I'm going to go and have a look at my special editions and see what I want to read. Okay, so that ends up being quite an easy pick. And I think for the sake of trying to finish the series, I'm going to pick Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. This is the Broken Binding edition. Hopefully I'm going to be reading Brasinga in the month of July. But if I don't manage, I'm probably not going to finish this in August because it's really huge and I will be quite busy with moving, but at least it's on the TBR. So if I want to complete Herkiad now, I have to finish this book, which I've been meaning to read this series when this first book came out. Like I bought the book when the original book when it came out, whenever it was released, 2010? Like the day it was released, I was in bookstores buying it and then never finished it, never read it. So yeah, I'm so excited to actually finally finish this series and then I can like get on with Murtagh, and especially now that I have these beautiful editions of the book. So yeah, this is going to be the book that goes on for foiling on the cover. Let's jump into roll number 4. Let's have a look. We don't want a 1. Okay, a 10. Nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's the Dead Marshes. That takes us back to the past Dead Marshes, which we'll go back to, and I will randomly pick out a series. Let me grab my series jar. So this is the series jar, so I'll randomly pick one. And I thought it was going to be nice to me with that 10, but it was not. So let's pick. Oh, we have 3. Let's go for this one. And I'll let you guys see first what it's going to be. Page Northwood. Okay, this is actually quite easy. So Page Northwood is a book series by Neil Patterson. The first one is The Silent House, which I did physically own, but I ended up listening to quite a bit of it on audiobook. And so the second book is called Silent Night. And it was really interesting in that it's basically about a woman who is a deaf interpreter. She is hearing, but she grew up in a non-hearing family. Both her parents were deaf and her sister. So she ended up growing up learning sign language, but with the ability to hear and to speak. So she became a interpreter, sign language interpreter. And in the first book, she ends up on working with the police as a consultant, definitely in a way she should not have been, because she was closer to the case than she should have been for being able to work on that kind of case. But like that was acknowledged in the story as well. And so I think this second book is a different case that she ends up working on. I think there is a murder. A school for the deaf takes an overnight trip to the snowy woods. 5 teenagers go to sleep, but only 4 wake up. So one is missing and a teacher's body is found in the forest. So she has to go and help with the interrogations. So yeah, I did quite enjoy the first book, and as well as that, the audiobook actually had a deaf narrator as well, because it was split POV, so it was like her, and then it would be, sometimes you would get perspectives from other people in the book that were deaf. The audiobook narrator was also a deaf person, and so I really liked that. It brought it was really nice to listen to, so I probably will end up just getting this from my library as an audiobook again. But yeah, that's interesting. I need to make a note of that though, otherwise I will forget. But Silent Night by Neil Patterson. And I liked the first book enough that I put it in my series jar that I would carry on with it. And there is, I think, 3 books in the series. Yeah, so I will put this back in. And that's going to be an audiobook, so that's actually going to be quite an easy one. So let's jump into roll number 5. So we don't want an 11 now based on where we were last time. A 2. Okay, so 1, 2, that is another series. Okay, now what do I want to read series-wise? Okay, I think I know. Okay, so I did technically put this on my TBR for, I think it was May, and I don't like to try and put multiple books back on TBRs, but I have just finished my reread of the first book in the series, and so I want to finish off the duology with Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Like, I genuinely thought I remembered everything from Six of Crows, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't need to do a reread. I had completely forgot about the whole reason they go on the heist. You learn about it in the first chapter, but there is this drug introduced in this like causing the whole issue. I completely forgotten about the drug. Completely forgotten everything to do with the drug. So like when the moment it was mentioned, I kind of remembered, but like, yeah, I had completely forgotten. So I'm glad I did do a reread of it. Had a fantastic time with it. So yeah, I'm going to get this out. I have requested the audiobook of this, and it doesn't actually come out for me until October from my library. This might be one that I leave to October, but I can also physically read it if I want to. And I am feeling like in the mood to like crack on and get it done. I really have enjoyed the first book in the series. I've really liked the Shadow and Bone series. So yeah, looking forward to carrying on with the Grisha-verse in general. So Crooked Kingdom will go on for continuation series. Let's see what we get. A 1 again. Oh my god, these ones are being nasty. So what prompt are we going to get? Let's have a look. Master Stone of Osgiliath. Read the first book you see on social media. Okay, I'm actually going to go on Goodreads for this. No, I'm going to go on my Instagram, because I now have a Instagram, Bookstagram, which you can follow if you want to. I have one post, so you're not missing much. But let's have a look. I think I am going to do it based on what is on my TBR though, just because I don't want to be buying new books, or if I can get it from my library. But let's have a look. Actually, let's go to Cheltenham's Waterstones page, and we'll see on their page, because that way it then at least gives me like a bit more. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. There we go. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. So this is by V.E. Schwab, and I got this as my adult book from Fairy Loot for June. Really pretty, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I believe it is gothic sapphic vampires, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I read one other V.E. Schwab book, which was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I didn't love it. I just think it was a bit too long for my personal taste, and I just found it a bit boring and a bit repetitive in certain elements with like the constant going back and forth. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't like hate it. For me, it was quite long. So I don't know if this is going to reflect, kind of be similar to that in that sense, because it is also a big book, but I'm looking forward to reading it. And yeah, this is another new edition, new book box that we're getting on the TBR. Let's jump into the next roll, because we are getting quite a few rolls now. So let's go something big. 8. I don't think this is gonna put me on the bad space. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're past it. Nice. So it's another prompt. Let's have a look. Faramir's Sacrifice. Read a book from a genre you dislike. Okay, for this book, I'm going to put on Priest by Sierra Simone. I got these because I think this is a dark romance, which I don't necessarily dislike, but I haven't really read anything much in that genre, so I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. And I got these because my mum had bought double copies, and so by accident and given them to me. My mum is into like dark romance and fantasy romance and white shoes and all of that stuff, which I've not really dabbled in too much, and I don't think it's going to be something I'm going to love necessarily. I like romance, but I think more as like a subplot as opposed to like a more of a main element. And this is about a priest that I think ends up having relations with someone from his sermon. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be like heavy on the smart. Again, I'm not sure if it's quite dark romance, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to feel about it. So I'm going to pick this book, and I have the whole trilogy. So if I don't like it, I can get rid of the trilogy, which would be nice to do actually before I move. So this one might be a bit of a priority. So that's going to be the book for that prompt. I have forgotten how many we've done. 7. So this is 8. Whew. Bit more than I wanted. 12. Okay, let's see where that takes me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, whew, past the last Dead Marshes tile. So we have got Shelob. Read a book told from first-person POV. Okay, that gives me tons of options, but I'm just not sure what I want to read. Okay, I really didn't have much plans of what I could read, so I think just for the sake of trying to read my newly bought books in general, I'm going to pick up Heir of Storms by, I want to say, Lauren Hamilton Murray. This was the June YA pick from Fairy Loot, and again, I absolutely love this book. I love the pinks and the blues on that. I think they're stunning, and it is a book about a young girl born into one of the most powerful fire-wielding families, but I think she has storm magic instead, and it's got twins in it, which I am a sucker for a book with twins in it. But yeah, not sure much about it, but it's a fantasy book, and so I think I'll give it a go. And yeah, it gets 2 June books on my TBR, so that I will at least be trying to read them this year, which is nice because I do really want to try and make an effort to read my especially book boxes quicker than I have been, which is basically not at all. Let's go into what's hopefully my last roll. I don't want to get another one. Come on. And I think the last pick is a free pick. Yes, 3. Nice. So that's 1. Finish. We've made it. Pick a book as a reward. So I didn't really want to pick any manga just because for Herkyard I'm trying to do it without manga. Okay, so I was going to pick a new book box, but I decided instead to be sensible-ish and pick a book that is like kind of finishing off a series for me. And I'm going to go with Fireborn. This is Starling and the Cavern of Light. This is the 3rd book in the Fireborn series. And honestly, the first 2 books in this series were fantastic. This is a middle grade fantasy series about a young girl that goes to train at this like remote guard training academy where they are trained to fight demons or monsters in the woods. And in the first book, they end up getting attacked and someone gets kidnapped. It's her only friend. So she sets out to try and save her friend with these 2 other boys and this like stone gargoyle dog thing that is like the protector of this land. And I really, really enjoyed the first 2 books of the series. I think they're quite dark for middle grades. I mean, I found them quite dark. Maybe middle grade kids probably like, yeah, this is the norm. But I was like, oh, these are quite dark for middle grades. But I really enjoyed them. And so I would love to finish this off. And I only read them last year and it is pretty still fresh in my memory. And yeah, this is going to be taking our main characters, carrying on with what happened at the end of last, which again was a bit of a cliffhanger. So I am really looking forward to it. And if you like middle grade and haven't read this series, I do really recommend it. The first book, I think especially at the beginning, our main character is quite unlikable, but she really does grow throughout that first book to become a more likable character. And you kind of learn more about her backstory into like why she is the way she is as a character. We ended up getting 9 books on the TBR, which has been a while since I've gotten that many because for my game, I've now switched to using a D20 just for the sake of ease for me, of like getting fewer books on. But like I said, these are ones that I'm going to read now throughout the rest of the Herkyard year so that I can try and get them finished. Let me quickly go through the books that I have picked for August TBR. 3 book was Starling and the Cavern of Light. I got the Silent Night book, which was for a Dead Marshes tile. Air of Storm for a book told in first-person perspective. Priest, a book from a genre that I dislike. Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil was for a social media scroll. Crooked Kingdom was to carry on with this series, I think. Inheritance was for foiling on the cover. Silver in the Bone was for a retelling. And lastly, Skander and the Skeleton Curse was for... I don't remember what this one was for. So yeah, this is a chunky stack. So I'm not going to get through all of this in August, especially with moving and whatnot. But these will be the books that I will not be packing away. Everything else can start getting packed away now. But yeah, this is the chunk that I will be hopefully reading. Well, I will definitely be reading because I am determined to finish Herkyard. So these will definitely get read in the next year or the next 11 months anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching this little bit of a different TBR video. I do really implore you guys to go and check out Sylvia's channel, especially her TBR games. They are fantastic. And yeah, I'll leave a link to her channel, her most recent TBR, as well as this game, all in the description. So please check it out. And I really appreciate that she has made like a digital version. It makes it so much easier to play as a viewer as well. And I just think that's so nice and so fantastic and so genuinely kind because you don't need to do that, but it's really nice that she did, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It feels weird, like saying what are you guys reading in August, since it's still the beginning of July where I'm at, but what are you guys reading in August? Please let me know. I have no idea how I've done in July. Worry about that in September. These are the books for August. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again, hopefully soon. Bye.